Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of our roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in our buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
We are opening back up. It's not enough for some of you, but we are opening back up. Will companies be held accountable for safety? Or will the person that chooses to go out to eat, chooses to go to the bar, or go to the salon be taking all the risk? Saw this in USA Today. There's a report. The Trump administration is pushing for business liability protections to protect companies from coronavirus claims. What's this all mean? Richard Bell, Esquire. He's a liability attorney. His new book, Why Insurance Companies Hate When You Hire a Lawyer. It's a great title. Richard Bell on the CenterPoint Energy Home Service Plus hotline. Richard, how are you?
Very good, Corey. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to catch up with you. Can I ask a dumb question right off the top? Esquire, how do you get the title Esquire? Where does that where does that come from?
Oh, it's an old English term, but Esquire in America refers to having a law degree. You're a licensed lawyer.
Okay. Here's I want to throw some hypotheticals at you here, Richard, if you don't mind. And let's start with work. Okay, so say your company says you've got to go back to the office. Now, are employers going to be protected if you get sick?
The answer is yes, in this sense. So you go back to work and you're talking about employers, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So for the employer's point of view, if an employee catches COVID, the employee leaves it happened on the job, they can file a workers' compensation claim. You can't sue the employer directly. That's just not allowed under the workers' comp law. So then the question becomes, can you prove that you got the COVID from work? That's a very high standard, and we'll see how the workers' comp courts in Minnesota deal with that. But you have a special law now in Minnesota for people in the health fields and the public safety fields, where they are going to get a presumption in workers' comp courts that they did get COVID on the job. That's not true for regular workers.
Mm-hmm. So I would wonder, to prove that, if you're the only one in the building, and say there's dozens of people there, if you're the only one in the building, that would be, if you want to make that claim, that would be probably hard to prove. But if there's a pocket of people that all get it, maybe there's more leeway to try and prove that.
Yes, that's a very good point, because if there's some kind of an outbreak in the workplace, then that's going to be good evidence before a workers' compensation judge that, yes, this happened in the workplace. If it's one person, then good luck, because the argument on the other side is going to be, well, you could have got it from a neighbor, you could have got it from a restaurant, a supermarket, anywhere. Okay,
so another hypothetical is bars and restaurants are slowly kind of opening back up here. What liability will these places have?
I think that if they follow the safety requirements that I saw the governor laid out in Minnesota, and you do the social distancing, the smaller crowds, hopefully people wearing masks, the servers, then I believe there's not going to be any kind of floodgates for liability, because once again, and now this is different, this would be in a regular court, not workers' comp, you would have to prove, if you got COVID, that you got it at that restaurant. So what's the argument on the other side? It's a good argument. What do you mean I got it at this restaurant? How do you know that? There's 100 places you could have gotten it because you're out in the world like everybody else. So I think that the fear that some businesses have, and it's being portrayed, by chambers of commerce and insurance companies, I don't think it's realistic, because from a point of view of someone like me that brings lawsuits for injured people, that's going to be a very, very hard standard to make.
Yeah. He's Richard Bell, Esquire. His book, Why Insurance Companies Hate When You Hire a Lawyer. If you want to learn more about him, richardcbellesquire.com. That's ESQ.com. liabilityinsurance.com. What, I didn't ask you, but what do you think about that report in USA Today about the Trump administration pushing for business liability protections to protect companies from these claims? What do you think about that?
Oh, I think that is very much a ploy by insurance companies and big corporations to try to get what I would call a Wrongdoers Protection Act, because they want immunity from lawsuits. I just told you that these lawsuits, very, very few of them are going to be viable and going to be brought. Mm-hmm. So what I think is really happening in Congress is this lobbying is being done to get this immunity so that you won't be able to sue, and to use it as a springboard for future immunity long beyond COVID.
Mm-hmm. Richard, lastly, let's talk about the people, right? Talk about the consumers, us, the humans. What do we need to know about with lockdowns lifting? What do we need to know, and what are our rights?
Okay, number one, what you need to know is that you have to take care of yourself first and foremost before you're going to go into an establishment. You have to know what's going on in there. Make your observations, speak to people, read up on it. But most of all, your own responsibility in going into a place that looks like there's not masks being used, there's not social distancing being enforced, there's not good disinfecting being done. You don't want to ever step into that. Your rights, like I said, in terms of suing these establishments, that's going to be very, very hard to prove that you got the COVID there. I think the more important part as a consumer is to use your common sense and be aware. Just because a place is open up doesn't mean you have to go there. If you choose to go there, make sure they're complying with the governor's guidelines.
Yeah. Richard, really appreciate the time. Best wishes with the book, and good to connect.
Thank you so much. And if your listeners have any more questions, I'm at richardcbellesq.com. And thank you, Corey, for the time today.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of our roles and sites. And Amazon is taking precautions in our buildings to keep people healthy. Go to Amazon.com/apply. That's Amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.